Hey leaders, Carey Nieuwhof here with trend number 3 of 7 disruptive church trends every leader should be watching as we move into the new normal. So I'm sharing this series on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, so wherever you're watching it, make sure you check out the other videos in the series. But as you know, everything changed in 2020 and your strategic planning for the year kind of got thrown out the window. And where do we find ourselves now in the middle of a constantly changing world? So while we don't know exactly what the future is going to look like, I think there are some trends that we should be paying attention to and that I'm watching. So trend number 3 is simply this, that in the future, churches will think of themselves as digital organizations with physical locations rather than a physical organization with a digital location. So that's a major shift. I know it sounds a little bit like, well, what's the difference? It's a big difference. So think about the retail world. Think about retailers like JCPenney and Sears or Toys R Us. They saw themselves primarily as physical stores with a website. And what happened to all of them? Well, history has not fared particularly well for JCPenney or Sears or Toys R Us. They kind of disappeared. Now, contrast that with Amazon. Amazon started and thinks of itself primarily as a digital organization, but they have physical locations. They have physical expressions. See, one of the things about the internet, and this trend has been happening for a little while, is that location doesn't really matter. You don't really care where Amazon is, that it's located in Seattle or that it's got warehouses in this state or this city. What you really care is, did the stuff arrive at my house in the 2 days it was promised or the day it was promised? That's really what you care about. And location is kind of irrelevant. Well, I think that's true of the digital church. You see, digital scales in a way that physical locations doesn't. And what happened when the coronavirus hit and churches lost access to their buildings is everyone said, oh my goodness, churches closed, churches canceled, and of course it wasn't. But everybody pivoted to having a digital expression, a digital experience. Well, in the future, I think that's exactly where the church needs to stay. Now, are physical gatherings coming back? Absolutely. As America and the globe reopens, for sure, physical gatherings are coming back. But as we've seen in some of the other church trends, I wouldn't count on the rooms being as full as perhaps they were. Partly that's coronavirus related. People don't feel psychologically safe to come back. And you may see an initial surge, but I think that will drop off as people's habits become more digital in the future and more location independent. So what if, and this is the big shift, you started thinking of your church as a digital organization with a physical expression? Because here's what's true. Everyone you want to reach is online. Everyone in your city, everyone in your town, everyone you want to reach is online. And if you think of yourself and staff yourself that way as, hey, we have a lot of ministry that happens online, and we have a physical gathering, and we have a physical experience, and we have multiple physical locations in different cities, or whatever your story happens to be. But I think it's a mindset thing. If you think of yourself as a digital organization with physical expressions, I think you'll have a much more secure future than if you think of yourself as a physical organization with a website. Because we all live in a world now where we seamlessly slip between the digital and the physical. Again, as I've said many times, as soon as you're done watching this video, or perhaps in the middle of it, you're going to see an actual human being and have a conversation, and then you're back to the video. That's just the world we live in. So try this pivot. Think about making your organization a digital church with a physical expression, and see if that makes a difference. I think it'll make a huge difference. Now, that's massive change, and I think one of the keys to being successful in the future is to actually be an agile organization. And that's why I've started a brand new resource, launched it. It's called the 30-Day Pivot. And it can help you and your organization, your church, pivot in as quickly, as little as 30 days, every 30 days as time requires. You pivoted once when coronavirus hit, but I think the key to innovation in the future is to be an agile organization. The 30-Day Pivot is going to help you with that. So make sure you check out the30daypivot.com or click the link in my profile or the link below, depending on where you're watching this video. In the meantime, I'd love for you to think about what it means to be a digital organization with physical expressions. In fact, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So please leave a comment below and look for the other videos in this series on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.